I want to take a moment to talk to the mentees actually first, because young ladies, young women, I can only imagine how you are feeling today. But I have been sitting in my seat imagining it because I don't come from where you come from, but I am deep in my heart and will always be just a kid from the Bronx who wound up in really fancy rooms. And I remember what it felt like to walk into a room and be confused and overwhelmed and disoriented and inspired. And also for me, there were times where I felt a little bit angry that it seemed that there were a whole population of people who had choices that were not afforded to any of the people who came from where I came from. And I just want to acknowledge that and to say to you today, remember how you feel. Because in the path that you're going to walk, I guarantee you are going to continue to be in rooms that overwhelm you and that call you to bring the best of yourself forward. Rooms where you feel like maybe you don't belong, or where you're not sure what to say, or where you want to apologize for your big feelings, or your accent, or your upbringing, or whatever it is. And I just want to remind you that that feeling is a sign that you are growing in the right direction. Continue to step outside your comfort zone and go into places that challenge you. You are needed in those rooms. You belong in those rooms. I'm so grateful that you're in this room today, because don't for a second misunderstand. You are receiving gifts today, but we are receiving the gift of your presence today. And you are changing us as much as this program is changing you. And to those of you who did not win, quote unquote, a scholarship today, I also want you to know that those feelings are a part of the path of success. That you don't get to have a story of success without having days that you feel like you got everything you wanted and days that you feel like you didn't. So also put that in your pocket and know that that's part of your story and that's part of your journey, and it's a sign that you are moving in the right direction. I promise you. Well, okay. There's a lot of papers up here, and I'm nervous. I didn't send my stuff to teleprompter because I was working on it till forever. So I'm going to move these papers. Okay. Okay, I'm so grateful to be here today. The award I'm presenting is named for a very powerful woman, and it is being presented to a very powerful woman because, let's be honest, you guys, Hollywood is obsessed with power. We love it. We have power lists and power issues and power lunches. We strive for power. We court power. We traffic in power. So I want to talk about it. I want to talk about what power really is, because I believe its definition is evolving. The narrative is changing. And I think it's changing because of rooms like this and because of women like Reese Witherspoon. We all know what power used to look like in this town. It was about leveraging your authority, your access, your influence over other people. It was about orchestrating fear. It was about excluding people who were less powerful than you, disenfranchising them, and in the very worst cases, abusing them, assaulting them. Historically in Hollywood, power wasn't something that many women could get. It was gotten, and often at our expense. And if somehow we did get it, if we somehow clawed our way into a position of power, chances are that we perpetuated many of the crimes that were committed against us, telling ourselves that we had to do whatever it took to stay in that position, even if it meant we were the only ones there who looked like us. To be a woman in power was lonely, and it often cost us a great deal. But a couple of years ago, when many of us were forced to come to terms with the systematic abuse and misuse of power in our workplaces, Reese started talking, publicly, privately, She was one of the women who called and invited me deeper into that conversation with other brave and bold women. And together we were all called to do something about it, to shift the balance of power, not just in our business, but across all industries. We may have been made to feel lonely, but we were not alone. What we've discovered in Time's Up is a new kind of Hollywood power, a power that is based in unity, in generosity, in community, and in respect, and in the willingness to share and empower one another in everything we do. And this ethos extends beyond just Reese's activism. This is how she operates in her life, in all areas. You see it in the way she runs her media company, Hello Sunshine. We all know, unless you are living under a rock, that Hello Sunshine creates rich, bold, compelling stories about women, stories that, despite the conventional wisdom in this town, resonate strongly with all audiences. And in doing so, Reese has lifted up so many women, and not just women who look like her. Reese is creating work with and for women who are younger than her and older than her, bigger than her and smaller than her, those who share her race and ethnicity and those of us who don't. She empowers herself to partner with open arms and an eye towards intersectionality and inclusivity, and in doing so, she makes it possible for so many of us to step into our own power because she is stepping into hers and sharing it. The old narrative told us that there was one person, that there was power in singularity, in being the one, the only, the it girl, the phenom. It trafficked in control and subjugation, and most of all, fear. It told us that in order to keep your power, you have to reject others, reject otherness, make other people feel powerless, like they can't have what you have. The new narrative, the Reese narrative, tells us that our power lies in our partnership, that real power comes from succeeding with people, not in succeeding off of people. That real power is born of the humility and grace of sisterhood. That's what empowerment means. The more power you share, the more power you have, and the more power you have, the more you must share. This is the lesson that you must learn when you are in Reese's orbit. This is the lesson so many of us are learning from her. I'm not alone. But I will say, I love this woman as a friend, as a sister, but also as somewhat of a mentor and an inspiration. Reese isn't just changing the narrative for women in the content she creates, she's changing the narrative for women in real life, period. Reese, I owe a great deal of my success, and dare I say power, to Sherry Lansing. She took a chance on me and put me in one of my very first studio films, Save the Last Dance, when my only credit at that point was an independent film that was still being sliced together in an edit suite. But she did it. She took a risk. It's so fitting that I was asked to present an award to you in her name. You have both been, in your own ways, trailblazers. You've redefined what it means to be a powerful woman. You've had a tremendous impact on my life. And you both lead with the understanding that the only way we rise is if we share our power and all rise together.